Welcome into the Reb Zone. It was a cold week on the road with the Runnin Rebels in Fort Collins, Colorado and Boise, Idaho. Fox 5 packed our bags with the Runnin Rebels and witnessed a beatdown on the Broncos on Tuesday night and a tough fight against the Rams in a sold-out Moby Arena. We're breaking down the road trip with the Runnin Rebels head coach Kevin Kruger. Well, it may have been 12 degrees in Boise, but Rob Whaley Jr. was steaming hot at Extra Mile Arena. He took this game personally against the Broncos as we sit down one-on-one with the Bruiser tonight and learn where his physicality comes from. And the Las Vegas Stars were out last night at the Lady Rebels game. You got former Lady Rebels and WNBA stars coming out to support the back-to-back champs. We're catching up with the former Lady Rebel Essence Booker tonight and checking out how New Mexico handed the Lady Rebels their first home loss in almost 2 seasons. Plus, it was a big weekend for Kevin Kruger, flying back to Las Vegas on Saturday morning to be with his wife for the birth of his baby boy, Maxwell Kruger. Coach made it back in time to Fort Collins. Talk about a super dad with the cutest kids. The Reb Zone starts right now.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go Rebels!
This is what I love about the Runnin Rebels. It is a family here in Las Vegas. Coach, you got the cutest girls. It was a big weekend for you, like I mentioned. How's the family doing back home?
Family's good. The addition of Maxwell is a little confusing for the girls, but it's been a good couple days.
Yeah, it was a big week on the road with you guys. Really saw some great basketball against Boise and Colorado State. Keelan Boone says they're not going to hang their head down low after a tough loss against Colorado State. What did you see from your team on the road this past week?
A great fight. You know, bouncing back and getting the win in Boise, and then competing to the last second at Colorado State. Of course, we would have loved to come out with the win, but did what we needed to do to give ourselves a chance to win the game. And you know, that's what we ask for every night, just give ourselves a chance. The
Mountain West, like we've mentioned all season long, so talented, so tough. It's going to be a fight every single night this season. Let's check out the highlights from Fort Collins.
Once again, a strong start for the Rebels. Luis Rodriguez throws it up to Caleb Boone for the slam. The Rebels and Rams tied up at 6. Jackie Johnson brings some juice off the bench for UNLV, knocking down back-to-back threes. The Rebels extend their lead 14-11 over CSU. Keelan Boone was bringing it in the first half, scoring a game-high 13 first-half points. The Rebels run into the locker room with a 39-32 lead over Colorado State. It wouldn't be a UNLV game without a Rob Whaley dunk. The junior had a big week on the road. UNLV up 47-40 over CSU. The Rams keep up the fight in the second half. Isaiah Stevens knocks down his third 3-ball of the night, and CSU trails UNLV 68-66. Rams not done. Stevens bounces it to Josiah Strong for the bucket. We got a tied ball game with 3:15 to play in Fort Collins. Stevens heating up down the stretch. Another 3 from Isaiah Stevens, and the Rams take the lead 71-68. Back-to-back threes from the Rams, and Colorado State is up 74-70 with 2 minutes to play. UNLV runs into foul trouble at the end, dropping their third conference game this season to Colorado State 78-75.
Well, it's no secret. I think our record's unfortunate in the conference. Doesn't reflect how we've played. But, you know, yeah, I mean, if you look at it on paper, I'd imagine we'd have the toughest 5-game start, you know, or 4-game start, or 3-game start, however you wanted to look at it. And of course, kind of bookending it with this road trip, this 2-game road trip. Stayed on the road all week and got better. I mean, and that's why there's a lot of positive things in my brain right now, just because we continue to get better.
Just keep the fight, keep the energy. This is a hostile environment, and credit to them. They pack the house out every night, so just had to lean on each other. Just trying to preach to the guys to lean on each other, because there's going to be a time when they make a run or it gets loud to where we can't hear our own selves think. So it's just like, that cohesiveness, that togetherness is all I was trying to preach.
Coach, a big night from Keelan Boone, scoring a season-high 21 points, grabbing 8 rebounds on the road against Colorado State. I think I mentioned how vocal he was in practice this past week. How did you see Boone step up and combine for 35 points with his brother? Yeah,
Keelan had a really good week, especially, and you know, hit some big shots, got some big rebounds, and did a lot of things that we just needed to do to, of course, get the win and then have a chance at Colorado State.
Stevens dropped 18 points, 4 of 8 from deep at home. Like we mentioned, mentioned it was a hostile environment at home on Friday night. When you guys play Stevens at home at the Thomas and Mack, what do you want to see from your team to stop him?
Yeah, I thought we had a good fight. We did a lot of really good things to make him work and make him earn some points. There were just a couple there late where we just took a half second to catch our breath, and he made some big shots. But overall, I thought we worked really hard on him, made him earn a bunch of buckets there in the first half, and again, just a couple things late that we'd love to have over, but he made some big shots for him.
Keelan Boone mentioned a couple mental lapses at the end of the game on Friday night. What did you see towards the end of the game, and how you want to see your guys finish strong against Air Force?
Yeah, I thought we did a good job of just making him work. Stevens is one of the best players we'll play, if not the best player we'll play all year, and we did a good job making him work. And then at the end, unfortunately, we just got a little off path, and he made us pay.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned a lot of positive things that you're taking away from this road trip. Well, the Reb Zone continues as we head out to Boise, Idaho. Yeah, it was a cold one on the road this week with UNLV, but Rob Whaley Jr. was bringing the heat at Extra Mile Arena. We'll have highlights and post-game reaction from Boise next on the Reb Zone.
Rob Whaley Jr. said this was a revenge game for him. Heavily recruited by Boise State, he wanted to show the Broncos why he chose to play at UNLV, scoring a team-high 18 points and handing the Broncos their first home loss in 22 games. Justin Webster says his team is playing with the ultimate confidence right now, and that's what it's going to take to win in the Mountain West this season. 12 degrees in Boise, but the Runnin Rebels come out hot. DJ Thomas and Caleb Boone for the slam. The Rebels on the board first. This game was personal for Rob Whaley Jr., who tells me he was heavily recruited by Boise State. He told me he wanted to prove why UNLV was the right choice for him. He comes out and scores 13 first-half points for UNLV, and all you could hear inside Extra Mile Arena was Rob Whaley Jr. The Rebels are up 21-13 over Boise State. The Broncos would fight back. Tyson Degenhart from the top of the key. Broncos steal the lead 34-33. Not so fast, Boise State. Here comes the Rebels. Give me Justin Webster from the corner all day long. Rebels run into the locker room with a 36-34 lead over Boise State. Second half, Rob Whaley Jr. coming out with that energy. The no-look pass to Luis Rodriguez for three, too smooth. UNLV up 44-39 over the Broncos. Tyson Degenhart keeping the Broncos in this game, pushing his way up for two, and Boise State trails UNLV 64-62 with 22 seconds to play. Just like every game in the Mountain West, this one comes down to the wire. Justin Webster sinks both his free throws, and UNLV is up 68-64. Final seconds on the clock, Max Rice throws it up for three. No good. UNLV wins a scrappy, physical game on the road, handing Boise State their first home loss of this season.
I proved that I chose the right school. We came out here, we played hard, and we won the game. It was simple. We played our game, and the game came to me, came to us, and we ended up winning.
We felt like we should have won the Utah State one. We felt like we should be 3-1. But, circumstances happen, and we just got to stay mentally strong and stay with confidence. So we came out here and played with ultimate confidence, as we should, and we're going to have ultimate confidence going into Colorado State.
Oh, that was a fun one on the road Tuesday night at Boise State. UNLV coming out on top 68-64. Coach, the way your team came out with a fight, with that energy, what did you see from them in that first half, and kind of that flip you're seeing this season in the first half from your guys? Yeah,
I think, going into Boise and Colorado State going into the week, it was all they had been told was how hard the schedule was and how basically setting them up mentally to be prepared to lose and be okay with it. So to bounce back and go to Boise and get a win, it just showed that they've got a lot of maturity, use their experience mentally to get ready, and did what they did need to win a game.
You're watching the Reb Zone Sports Show on Fox 5, sponsored by Flowing Tide Pub.
They got some experienced dudes too.
It's been the Rob Whaley Dunk Show this season at UNLV. The JUCO transfer's physicality and confidence is contagious on the team this year.
He's a bruiser for us. We need him to be a force in the paint every game, every day. It makes us better, then it imposes a will for us to be aggressive. And when we know we have that from him, we're a tough team to beat. We just have to put it together for a full 40.
I've always kind of prided myself on being strong, like, because I've just been this big kid my whole life, so it's just been something that's just been handed to me. And my dad always taught me, like, at a young age, like, just use your body, use your body, use your body. So it was just something I was just always like, that's something I need to do. Like, I'm not a person that likes hitting the ground, but I hit the ground a lot. So it's like, it's kind of a funny thing with it, because I talk to my dad about it all the time, because he's like, you always hit the ground. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, I'm just throwing my body out there.
But this is nothing new for Whaley Jr., who played the last 2 seasons at the College of Southern Idaho, where he transformed his body by losing 50 pounds and finished his sophomore season there as the Region 18 Player of the Year.
Very thankful. It was definitely, like, my freshman year was definitely a big learning experience for me to really understand college and how much better people are in college, especially at the JUCO level. Like, JUCO level, there are a lot of great players that are just either don't have the grades or just don't get the recognition. And so for me, JUCO was a big part of my life that I will never regret.
Whaley tells me he has a lot of passion for the game of basketball. It's in his blood, and Whaley says he's had his father and aunt to look up to, who played in the NBA and WNBA.
He's always been a big role model for me. My dad's always been, no matter if he hasn't been there or has, like, he's always been there in spirit or with his words, even if he hasn't been there in person. And so I call him after every game. I call him almost every day. Like, we talk about basketball 24/7. Like, I call him before every game. He's just someone that's just always like, play your game, do you, be you. And then, like, when I was struggling, like, at the beginning of the year with playing time and trying to figure out where I am right now in this situation, he was just like, just keep pushing through it. Like, you're gonna figure it out. Like, just keep going, keep going. It was just like a big part of helping me figure that out.
No doubt Rob Whaley Jr. has been a lot of fun to watch this season. And Coach, this is my favorite part of the Reb Zone, really getting to know your players and their stories. But 2 seasons at the College of Southern Idaho, how did you find this huge X factor for your team?
Well, Coach Peary was the one that brought it to attention for the staff, and ever since that moment, you know, he's a great kid. As you saw, a big smile, easy to talk to, just the type of person and character we want to be a part of the program, and the fact that he's a good player helps a lot. How have you seen your team, your players, really feed off his energy this season? I think Rob's just one of those guys. He wants everybody to do well. He wants everybody to win. So you know, he's easy to root for. And when you're out there with guys as a team that root for each other and try to make each other's life easier, then you do good things. And Rob's been kind of an X factor and a spark for us in that regard, because he just wants to help guys and he wants to win games. How have you seen him improve confidence-wise on the road and at home this season? I think he really just you know, kind of took a deep breath a couple weeks ago, a month ago or so, and just started getting back to keeping it as simple as possible, and he's been really good. You know, no overthinking, no just putting too much pressure on himself. Just go out there, have fun, and the results will follow. Yeah, exactly. That's what he's told me this season, having a lot of fun out there in his first year at UNLV. It's been a lot of fun to watch him put on a dunk show on the road and at home. Number 5 is a player you want to watch this season, Vegas, and get out to the Thomas & Mack to support the Runnin Rebels, who are playing at home this week. Well, back at the Thomas & Mack on Tuesday night, the Rebels are getting ready to host Air Force for an 8 p.m. tip-off at the Thomas & Mack. Kevin Kruger says his team has been playing to near perfection at home this season. We'll hear more from Coach Kruger on what he wants to see after this week's road trip. Plus, the Las Vegas Hoopers were in the house last night to support the Lady Rebels. We'll break down how New Mexico handed UNLV their first conference loss of the season, and also catch up with the Lady Rebel legend Essence Booker, who's back in town from playing overseas in Italy. The Reb Zone will be right back.
Fox 5, sponsored by Flowing Tide Pub.
The Lady Rebels back in action at the Cox Pavilion. The local fans ready to see the back-to-back champs remain undefeated at home this season. Desiree Young gets it started from deep for UNLV. Lady Rebels up 11-5 over New Mexico. The freshman point guard, Amarachi Kimpson, shows off her defense with the steal and bucket. UNLV extends their lead 15-9 over the Lobos. New Mexico fights back. Hulda Joaquim knocks down the 3 at the first quarter buzzer. New Mexico trails UNLV 15-12 after 1. Kiara Jackson brings the heat in the second quarter, knocks down the corner 3, and UNLV takes a 36-30 lead at the half. Third quarter, Lobos claw back. Nia Wilson driving hard to the rim. New Mexico steals the lead 48-47. Young says not so fast. Young lets it fly from deep at the third quarter buzzer. UNLV up by 1 after 3, 53-52. Lobos keep up the fight in the fourth quarter. Vianney Humber knocks down her 5th 3-ball from the top of the key. New Mexico jumps back in front 57-55. The senior center, Desiree Young, knocks down back-to-back jumpers. UNLV and New Mexico tied up at 65. Cumber had the hot hand for New Mexico. Cumber knocks down her 6th 3-ball of the night to put New Mexico ahead 69-66. Final seconds on the clock. Lady Rebels get one more shot. Ashley Scoggins shoots for 3, and it's no good. New Mexico snaps UNLV's 30-game win streak against a Mountain West opponent, handing UNLV their first conference loss of the season, 69-66.
They're very upset in there. You know, I think I've saw more tears in there than I've seen in a really long time, and that's okay. You know, we haven't lost on this court at home, and you know what, over almost 2 seasons, you know, so we love our home court. We had even a great crowd tonight, and we felt them with us. They haven't seen us lose very many times, and I can promise it's not going to be very many more, but you know, this happens, and we're upset. We're going to carry this with us, and we're going to keep improving.
Not the outcome, you know, they wanted tonight, but what are you seeing from this year's squad?
I mean, the same thing that Lindy pushes us to do every day, and that's play hard. Play harder than the other team. We played hard today. They played hard. A lot of bodies hit the floor. And, I mean, we did what we were supposed to do. We just came up a little short.
You were overseas in Italy. How did you grow as a player this past year?
I obviously had to play a different role. I'm younger, and it was my first year there. So just, you know, listening to the older players and trying to do the best I can as a role player.
Desi, what do you say to her day in and day out for her to be so dominant in the Mountain West?
Man, Desi's a dog, man. I don't know. I ain't seen no one like her. And to me, I just tell her to keep going. You know, put your head down, keep going. No matter what the outside noise is, cancel that out and keep going.
Yeah. What's next for you, Essence?
Right now, I'm just in Vegas training, and we'll see what's next when my phone rings. But I'm hoping to play in Mexico this summer, and then we'll see where I'll go in August.